Hey loves, Kim here, and I'm back with another video. So if this is your first time on the channel, I just would like to say welcome and thank you so much for watching. And if you like what you see, feel free to hit that subscribe button and be sure to click that bell, that way you never miss an upload from me. And if you're an OG that's been here for a minute, thank you so much for coming back. So first and foremost, Happy New Year's, welcome to 2020. I hope the new year is treating everyone so well so far, and I just want to say thank you all so much for continuing to just interact with me and view my content and leave your lovely comments. It's definitely been keeping me motivated to hurry up and get back to YouTube. Also, welcome to everyone that has joined the Simply Nisey family in my absence. It means so much that you chose to hit that subscribe button and join. Definitely appreciate it, and I'm hoping to bring you all some great content. So yeah, and to all my OG people, I appreciate you all. You have been just here, and I'm just so grateful, always so grateful. So anyway, I am here with another build tutorial. This is part 2. If you have not checked out part 1, definitely do so. In part 1, I covered things such as foundations, floor plans, basic building things, also a lot of the hotkeys, which makes it a lot faster and more efficient to build in The Sims 4. So yeah, if you haven't checked out part 1, I will link it on the screen and also down in the description box below for your convenience. But if you've already done that, let's go ahead and get into part 2. So in this part, we're just going to focus on the exterior of the home, making it look a bit more tailored to what you like, making it look more than just a big gray blob, which is what it currently is, and making it look a little bit more special than that. So yeah, from the build mode, if you look in the UI, the picture of the house definitely, like, it just tells you everything you need to know as far as what goes where. So if you're ever feeling stuck, just refer to the picture. I know with me, I'm a very visual person, so if I can draw a picture of something, or if I can see a picture of something, it just makes a lot more sense. So back to the house. Usually when you think about your home, the first thing you think about is, what does it look like on the outside? So we're going to go to our wall patterns here. And my rule of thumb is that these first 4 options, as far as the different wall pattern categories, which are paint, wallpaper, tile, and paneling, those are typically best for the inside of the home. And the last 3, which is masonry, rock and stone, and siding, are best for the outside of the home. So with that in mind, I want this to be a mostly brick house, so I'm going to go under the masonry category. And we have all of these different options here. Obviously, I have a lot more, but just for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to focus on just the base game. And if you want to filter your items, you can do that by using this little arrow here right next to the place that says filter items. And there's all of these different categories: style, color, content, packs. So we're going to filter it by pack, and we're just going to do the base game here. And I want this house to be mostly brick, like I said, and to cover more of an area quickly, I'm going to cover my walls by room instead of the individual panel. It just moves a lot quicker, and it covers more of an area opposed to doing each tile one by one, which could be really tedious. So I'm just going to hover over, and already just like that area is completely covered. And I'm going to do this for the rest of the home, like so. And in a matter of seconds, our house is almost completely covered, which is awesome. Now, typically you don't see brick going all the way up to the peak of your roof. So what I like to do is use siding on our roof bits. I just feel like it's a bit more natural, and it also softens up the home and gives a bit more of that visual interest, because if it was just all brick, it would just feel like a little bit too much for my personal taste. But I feel like adding a different element like siding just softens it up a bit and makes it a bit more approachable. So I am going to go with this simple siding here because it has more color options, or more of a color variety. And I'm just going to go with this white one here just to keep it simple. And the good thing about the roof is that it's recognized as just one long piece, instead of here where it may appear that there's actually two bits, but it's just one big roof. And it did affect the other side, so definitely things to keep in mind. And just like that, we're already covered. Now I want to break up this brick just a little bit, so I think I'm going to add this same siding to our kitchen area here, just to soften it up. And do I want it back there too? Yeah, why not? Why not? So yeah, it just adds a bit more visual interest. You got the black and white contrasting with the door, which is red, just that little bit of splash of color. I think that's just super fun. And I am going to now focus on the roof, starting from the top to the bottom. So again, if you look in the UI, there's this little patch that says roof patterns. And it gives you all of these different options, from shingles to scallop roofs to even glass. I feel like the glass roof will be perfect for like a greenhouse, or if you're doing like a super ultra modern home and you want to have a really cool skylight. Definitely I would suggest the glass, but since this is a more traditional simple home, I'm going to go with these weathered shingles here in the color black, just to kind of match it with the bulk of our home. And it's just hover and click, and just like that, it's already covered. Next to the roofing patterns, we have these roof sculptures. So these are things like your chimneys, your flags. It has things like AC units, like I said, flags, chimneys, vent hoods, like all of these different little things that you would expect to see on the top of your house. They even have things, if you don't filter it, and the more packs you have, obviously, but they even have things like dormers, which are like these little faux window things that just adds a bit more dimension and texture to your homes. They have satellite dishes, even billboards. So there's a lot of different roofing sculptures in game that you can have fun with. But I'm just going to keep it simple, and I'm going to add a chimney. And I want this chimney to match our house, so I'll go with that. And I feel like this is a bit big for this house. This isn't a big house, it's actually really small, so that looks huge. So what I'm going to do with all of our cheats enabled, again, that is down in the description box, all of the different cheats. And how you bring up the cheat window is by pressing the letters Ctrl Shift and C. And as you can see in the top left corner, it brings up our dialog box. I already have in my cheats, so I'm not going to put them in. But in order to enable the cheats, you want to type in testingcheats and then space, and then the words true. Some people use the word on instead of the word true, but it does the same thing, so it's just personal preference. And then once that's enabled, you can put in all the different cheats. Again, that will be in the description box. But in order to make it smaller, I'm going to scale it down. So with it still selected, before I click and commit to the positioning, I'm going to press my left bracket. And as you can see, it shrunk down a little bit. And now it looks a bit more in scale with the home, opposed to this huge piece here, which basically took up half our roofs. I'm going to work on the patio now, so I'm just going to choose some flooring similar to how the walls are with the flooring. The top 4 options, actually, so the 3 across the top And then the one in the middle row to the right, I will reserve those specifically for the interior of the home. And then this set of 4 here works best on the outside. So I'm going to go with masonry again to match the masonry on our house. And you know what, actually there is an exception. So a lot of people have porches that have wood or timber on the outside, especially where I'm from. A lot of people really love their porches, so that is one instance where I would use wood on the outside of the home, but typically I keep it on the inside. Yeah, I think I want the front porch to be wood or timber. Very nice, very nice. And then I think I want the back porch to be masonry, and I like it in that lighter gray color. And just like that, it's already on. Now to finish off our roof, I'm going to add in some roof trim. I usually use the 3rd option because I feel like it's not too big and not too small, and I'm just going to use it in the color black. Actually, I'm going to use it in this dark gray color because I feel like that's going to match the smokiness of the brick that we already have. And I just hover and click, and just like that, our roof looks so much better. There's also the option to have room trimming, which is basically like roof trim, but it finishes off the top of a room instead of the tips of the roof, if that makes sense. So I'm going to show y'all what that looks like. Oh, okay, I know what I did. Okay, so it wasn't letting me add the room trim. What I'm going to do to bypass that, I am going to use this flat square piece, like so. And I'm just going to click and drag to fill in this area completely with that. Because basically it didn't recognize that area as a room because I did not create the space above. That was a ceiling that was automatically generated because I created a room. So now I'm adding in this flat square piece, and it's going to create a room cluster. We talked about that in the last video. And then once this is complete, I will be able to add in a exterior trim. All right, so now that we've made a room cluster, and as you can see, it's selected. Now I'm going to go back to my exterior trim, like so. Select the one that I want. And now, as you can see, I'm able to add in a room trim if I like. I think I will add in one, but one just a little bit thinner so it doesn't take away too much from the home. And just like that, it's just a little extra something added to the home. And what I like to add sometimes on my roofs is just a tiny window, just to give it a little bit of charm. Moving on into the interior. So opposite to the exterior, as far as the wall patterns and textures, we're going to use the top 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 will be the ones to the left. Those are the ones that I usually reserve for interiors. For my main areas, I like to use a painted surface, and I really like to use the one with the molding. That's just what I'm used to seeing and what I like, and I just feel like it caps off a beautiful paint job. So I like to use something just really neutral and basic in the main areas. I think I'm going to go with a gray. And again, I'm using the by room tool to quickly fill in that area, and now our common area is completely covered in that painted wall, and it even has a little bit of crown molding, which is beautiful. In the bedrooms, people tend to get a little bit more personalized in there, so I think I'm going to add a bit more color, and bam, already looking amazing. And I'm going to use the same color in the other bedroom just to keep things simple. Now in the wet areas, I like to use a tile. The exception that I usually make is like in the guest bathroom or like the powder room, I like to use wallpaper. I feel like with the guest bathroom, people tend to go a little bit more as far as like the decorations and just making sure it looks all nice and tidy because your guests will be in there. Now as far as the flooring, actually I think this room is a little dark. I'm gonna add in another window or so in the living room just to let some more of that beautiful natural light in. Lighting is key. Like literally, if it's too dark, you won't experience the game the same way. Like trust me on this, you really won't, because you won't be able to see all of the wonderful detail and the work that you're putting in. So the more light you can let in, the better. Anyway, back to the flooring, which is right beneath the wall patterns. We got our floor patterns here. So for our interior floors in the main area, I think I want to go with a hardwood. Hardwood can actually be used throughout. Like I've been through to the homes where they've even have hardwood in the bathrooms, in the kitchen, and it looks beautiful, but I just want a little bit of variety just to mix it up. My go-to, or just like kind of like a basic rule of thumb, you don't have to stick to it, but a basic rule of thumb is wet areas get tile, high traffic areas get hardwood, and personal areas get carpet. My personal reason for that is if an area is going to get wet, you don't want it to ruin your beautiful carpet or your beautiful hardwood, which is really, really expensive and a little bit more susceptible to damage. You want something that's going to last long, be durable, and also beautiful. Also with tile, typically it's in areas that are smaller, so that reflective quality makes the area feel bigger also. So that's why I typically use tile in my bathrooms. As far as the main area with the hardwood is just a beautiful staple. As far as I'm concerned, I feel like it just adds a little bit of classiness and also tradition to a home, and it's warm, but it's not going to be susceptible to getting stains or becoming dirty, or if you drop something on it, like you'll be able to wipe it up quickly. So the areas that have more of your guests or the more high traffic area, I definitely recommend hardwoods for those reasons. It's going to be durable, it's going to look beautiful, but you're not as worried of water damage like you would in like a kitchen or a bathroom. As far as the bedrooms, the reason why I like to use carpet is because I just feel like carpet adds a bit more warmth. Also, it takes away a lot of the echo soft surfaces. Like if you're in a really echoey room, a lot of times it's because of the acoustics. They don't have anything to absorb the sound. So carpet works well in those areas that you want to be a bit more quiet and feel a bit more intimate. So that's just my reasoning. Do whatever you want, obviously, but that's just my take on why I use different floor patterns in different areas. I try to build my homes as realistically as possible, although your Sims are going to do whatever without regards to what things actually are. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and fill in my areas here. For the main area, I'm going to use hardwood, but I want to use like this lighter wood. Beautiful. Just beautiful. And I'm still using the buy room tool. As you can see, since there are no walls or arches or anything blocking the way, it covered my area completely from this main area all the way down to the bathrooms. Now for the carpet, I'm just going to go with something that looks similar to it, just to keep it simple. Already the rooms look a little bit more plush and quiet and soft and cozy. And then for the wet areas, I'm going to go with tile. You can also use linoleum. What linoleum is, it is a more cost-effective alternative to tile. It's not as durable, but it's pretty durable. With tile, you, in real life, obviously, with tile, you lay it in individually, tile by tile, whereas with linoleum, it's like this one big sheet, literally like this flexible sheet of this floral look-alike, and it's a lot cheaper, and you can install it yourself. I don't recommend it, but you could install it yourself, whereas with tile you probably want to get a professional in that trade. But yeah, I'm going to pick this white tile for both my bathrooms. And I guess I'll go with the tile in the kitchen too. I would use linoleum, but I mean, we're very limited on our options. I actually think that there may be, I have several packs. I have all the packs except for 2, and these are all of the linoleum options that we have. None of them are exactly fabulous, so I'm just going to stick with that tile that I have in the kitchen. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the interior. As far as the exterior, just to add a bit more of privacy, I'm just going to add a little bit of a fence. Oh, actually, before I do that, let me add a foundation. And I'm going to pick something similar to what I have on the house. So I'm going to go with a brick. And I want it to be a dark brick. So I'm just going to click on the foundation area and just cover everything that I want to cover. And a lot of times on porches, people will use kind of like this lattice foundation. It's not my personal favorite, but just to show you guys what that looks like in action, I'm going to add it here. Like, it's not bad. It's not my favorite, but I do think it adds a little bit of charm when you're working on a back porch or a deck. This looks really good on deck areas. But yeah, back to our fencing. I think I'm going to use this basic picket fence that I used around our porch areas, and I'm going to change the one around the porch with something that looks a little bit more up to par. And by default, it goes to place fence enclosure, which basically is the equivalent of build by room. And I'm just going to cover our property with that lovely, lovely fence. It looks so cute. And I'm going to add a nice little gate, so our Sims will be able to access the property. Super cute. And I'm just going to replace the fencing on the porch so it's not too matchy. Just going to go with something really basic here. And I'm going to replace fences here, which is that bottom option with the arrow pointing down. And it just goes a lot quicker than me trying to draw out each individual fence. And with a couple of clicks, I've already changed my fencing out. I'm going to change my stair railing to something a bit more similar, just to keep it nice and cohesive. And I think I would like to use that same masonry that's currently on our back porch. And I'm going to place this by tile. Reason being is because you're not allowed to build to the edge of the lot. So this is just going to allow me to put in this without it giving me an error message. And I don't really like the way that the bricks are laying. So like with any other object, if you want to rotate it, you're just going to use the comma or the period keys to switch it around. And just like that, our house is more personalized. It is no longer a big gray blob. And we are set to make the house feel a bit more like home. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I just want to say thank you all so much for watching. I hope it wasn't too long-winded, and I hope everything that I showed you guys was helpful and just my explanations gave a little bit more insight. Obviously do whatever you want, but this is just my reasoning and things that make sense to me in relation to real life. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Also, if you haven't done so already and made it this far in the video, feel free to subscribe. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. It helps me and the channel out more than you know, and it definitely gives me an indication of what you want to see more of. And if you're interested, feel free to follow me on my social medias, which are all linked down in the description box below, and check out anything that I've created on the gallery. My origin ID is simply Nisey. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and I will talk to you all in the next video. Bye guys.